So in part 3, we'll be covering a client and business setup. So first we're going to talk about the workspace setup. If you're working as a freelancer or as a client and you've hired freelancers. So we'll just discuss how to invite people into your workspace, and then we'll also discuss the different roles. And then if you're working as a freelancer like me, then I would like to discuss how to essentially complete a client's project. So you have two options, whether you'd like to do it in your own workspace or the client's workspace, and we'll talk about that in more depth later. And then finally, I'll discuss how to scope a project, and by that I mean how do you allocate a precise amount of time to complete a client's project. Now, if you want to invite people into your own workspace to then help you build your own project, what you essentially can do is click up here in settings, and then under workspace, you'll see that the current workspace we're in is the My Lovable one. And in people here, you will then have the option to invite other Lovable accounts to your existing project. So I'm just going to go ahead and invite one of my other accounts in here, and I will just click on invite, and then an invite will get sent to their email. And if they accept, they can then work inside this workspace. Now, if you do want to know what the different roles mean here, such as owner, admin, editor, and viewer, and collaborator, you can just go ahead and go to the docs Lovable.dev features collaboration. And then here it will give you an overview of the different permissions that each role has. So, for example, a viewer cannot add an admin. However, both an owner and admin can. So just keep this in mind with when you're inviting other people into your projects, to just make sure that they have the right permissions. So I'm just going to go ahead and log into my other Lovable account that I've invited. And you'll see here at the bottom left here, you'll see that we've got an invite to my workspace, which is the other account where the project is in and that I just invited. Now, if we accept this, you'll see that if you click on your workspaces here that you've been invited to, you'll see that we'll have access to the My Lovable workspace. And if you click on all projects here, you'll see that we have access to all the projects in that workspace. And this is the project that the app that we actually started building. So let's see if I can edit it. Change the color of the landing page to green. Just click enter. And you can see now that as an external collaborator, I'm able to work on the Lovable project, which was created on my original account. And this is a secondary account. I mean, we don't have to edit this. We know it works, and that's fine. So I'll just log out and log back into my other original Lovable account. Now, the main reason why I wanted to show you how to work in other workspaces is because if you do decide to go down the freelancer route and essentially work on clients' projects, there are two ways on how to work on a client's project. Now, it might be that the client has already started the project in their own Lovable account and workspace. Hence, they would just invite you with using your email into the workspace, and you can then work on their project. The good thing about this method is that they'll cover all the prompt and credit costs. Also, you'll most likely be using their API keys and hosting, so they cover all the costs. All you're doing is prompting. And the second method, you can build the project in your own Lovable workspace. And what I suggest you do here is, since you are covering the costs of the credits and prompts and also hosting, you can then say to the clients that you have a monthly retainer fee, and that might be anywhere from $100 to $500 a month. And essentially they will pay you X amount every month to cover those costs. And you'll be working in your own Lovable workspace, and also it's highly likely that they'll come back to you if they need maintenance or any additional features added, because it's already in your Lovable project. So this is something not many people do, but I do highly recommend you really go for the second option, given that it can be more lucrative. If you have, let's say, 10 apps that are all on monthly retainers every month, that could amount to a few $1,000s every month. So those are the two options when it comes to working with clients and on their projects. Now, lastly, I just wanted to mention about how to scope a project. Now, when you get on a call with a client, I always recommend you write down the specific milestones and tasks that need to be done, and you can then create a scope document in Claude or ChatGPT. And essentially, let's say if you've had a video call with the client, you can get the transcript from the Zoom video call and just copy and paste it into Claude and ask it to create a scope document for you. And then you will have to go over every single milestone and figure out how long it will take you to complete every milestone. So this is how I do it on Upwork, and I do tend to overestimate the time estimate by 20%, mainly because it's highly likely that you're going to spend more time on building a project that you originally estimated it as. I can guarantee you this is always the case. I think it's been the case in all of my projects. I've never completed a project earlier than my original estimate, so always add that 20% time estimate, yeah, as a buffer. Okay, and then you can, let's say if the project will take a total of 30 hours, you then split those 30 hours and allocate them to the different milestones, and then essentially when milestone 1 is complete, the client will release the payment, and then you can proceed with milestone 2. So therefore it's also important that the milestones are set up from the first to the last in a manner that aligns with how you're going to start working on the project. So the first task that you will do is milestone 1, and the second task is milestone 2. And then essentially you just complete milestones going from the first to last.